How good is DeepSeek when it comes to code review and implementing those changes? I have a whole introduction of this series in a separate video, but in this instance, the model was given some simple code, which is a random numbers utility. So this utility simply generates random numbers, and in some instances, I might want those random numbers to be unique. The challenge here is DeepSeek must explain the intent of this code, write documentation for some methods, and then review the code, actually regenerate new improved changes to that code. The first task, which is to explain the intent, simple, straightforward, 10 out of 10. And the good thing is that DeepSeek just doesn't start immediately recommending changes. So it simply tells you the intent of the code without adding any other suggestions. When it came to writing method summaries, I mean, this is a very, very small class, but I'm having to spend about 2 minutes watching it type line by line, which might be a little bit long. And then on top of that, the server is constantly being busy. It's understandable. I mean, there are a lot of people using this AI now because it's a trending topic. So if I was just to ignore the busy server and the fact that I've had to back off with timeouts, the code summaries and the method signatures, I would give it about 10 out of 10. Now, when it comes to the actual code review, there are a lot of very good suggestions. I mean, the first one is that this utility to generate random numbers is using a list, so I don't generate the same random number more than once. So this could be a thread safety issue if I'm planning on having a multi-threaded system. But in my case, I've just chosen to have each thread having to generate a new instance of this class by itself. And then the other issue raised, if I'm wanting to have each random number is unique, I'm having to keep track, and then that growing list in the background is getting bigger. The performance is going to start dropping. For example, if I've generated over 10 million random numbers, my list just keeps on growing, and I might have to throw an exception at some point, or maybe just refresh the entire system. When it comes to actually generating the code with the suggested changes, that's where the problem starts to come in. DeepSeek doesn't seem to respect or keep your coding conventions. So, for example, the regions. I mean, regions are where you might want to group long lines of code and then just collapse them. Regions are completely deleted from the new generated code. And then some of the naming conventions get changed. These are very small things, but if you then working in a team where you've got strict coding conventions, let's say in some teams, before you can check in the code, you've got to pass coding standards. DeepSeek must start changing your code in a way that becomes a problem, especially in a big team. And then again, I'm having to wait 2 minutes or a relatively long time because some methods are missing. So imagine that if you have a bigger system, it starts deleting some private methods or deleting some of the code. That's where the problem starts to come in. So all in all, code review as a standalone, I would give DeepSeek 10 out of 10. But then when it comes to implementing or maybe generating a new source code, it's more like 6 out of 10.